Okay, first first look we're going to be doing today is Plan B from Outer Space, a Bavarian Odyssey. This has been developed by Robot Pumpkin Games and published by Assemble Entertainment. It was Maria from Assemble Entertainment that very kindly gave me a game key, so thank you again to Maria. This is, it says it's an adventure, choose your own adventure with aliens. Escape the grasp of the Bavarians. Plan B from Outer Space is still an adventure in the style of an interactive book. It came out last month, 20th October. There was a demo available. This is the full version that I have. Let's load it up, give it a look. Hopefully it's not going to be that small. Okay. Let's just put that on and hit the start. So I just get my headphones going there. Right, new game. Automatic system. Cosmos, infinite space. The dust of a passing comet glistens lazily in the light of two mellow suns. Planets spin around their axes, as if hypnotized by their own steady movement. You stand in the command area of your ship and stare into infinity. You live for these moments of peace and contemplation. The majesty of space affects you deeply. In these moments you profoundly value the magnificence of space travel, especially since most of your own travels consist of you staring at the inside of a cold sleep chamber. You check the command console. All systems fine. The course set. Time to go back home. Can I just, no. Can I lower that to there? You turn your back on the myriad of little lights out there and go into the stasis chamber. You've earned some sleep. You get cozy while your ship is prepping for everything for your dreamless stasis. You reflect on the past few cycles and use your successful mission. So what did we do? Unflavoured nutrient paste. Let's do the destroy an enemy base. All members of your race can change their shape, a simple yet not to be underestimated ability that has made the Traxian Empire the most feared conqueror in the known universe. You are an agent of the Traxian Intelligence Service, the elite infiltration force of your empire. Your mission was to eliminate the military force of Mechik 3. You skillfully imitated an engineer of their orbital defense platform. There are ludicrous protection protocols with genetic testing, implanted control chips and 36-digit passwords that need to include a number, a special character, and a cooking recipe. None of that was an obstacle for you. You would have loved to have seen the expression on their faces when you blew up the reactor. Your people's armada has arrived, and your matter disintegrators are currently rendering all previous maps of this planet obsolete. The Traxian Empire is safe thanks to your work. Your people rule the known galaxy with iron tentacles. After all, you are the superior species. No monoform species can keep secrets from your agents, be it of a technological nature, a military facility, or any critical weaknesses. Your secret service has infiltrated the governments of most worlds and turned them into puppets. Nothing can stop you, except, of course, the invention of 37-digit passwords. For some reason you just can't crack those. The inhabitants of Mechik 3 were on the brink to discovering this technology and using it against the Empire, and that is precisely why soon there will be nothing left of Mechik 3. You feel proud. These monoforms have brought it on themselves. They are in their alien way, are a danger to every Traxian. You're proud to work for the defense of your species and to make Sure, these aliens know their place, and you will put up with billions more dead aliens as long as you can protect even one Traxian. Satisfied, you go into the cold chamber and go to sleep. You wake up in darkness. It is cold. This is always the part of cold sleep that bothers you the most, waking up. But now that you think about it, this is also the part that bothers you about ordinary sleep. The best way to get rid of cold sleep hangovers is doing some stretches. While still in your capsule, you begin to expand your body to 4 times your regular shape and then rapidly shrink it again. After a few repetitions, you contract back to your standard form. We've got a blob, we've got a cloud, a brain, an alien, a mushroom. I like the hairy one. That's like something out of I don't know, Daily Tentacle or something. Oh, I like that. What we're gonna go for? I'm going for that one. Wings, no. Horns, no. A ribbon. How cute. I like the light. Ah, that's better. Your limbs still feel a little numb. Finally, you turn on the light and are immediately blinded. Instinctively, you squeeze your optic organs tightly shut. After a few minutes, you finally feel awake. You leave the cold chamber. You're surprised by what you see on the screen. You expected to see the fortress of the High Command. Instead, the monitor was filled with the view of a planet unknown to you. Its light bathed the command bridge in the most menacing of colours. Blue. Scary. Ah, Agent. It is the voice of the Automated Ship System, for short, or AS. Your AS regrets having to interrupt your cold sleep, but my protocols require that I consult the opinion of biological intelligence in an extraordinary situation such as this. You keep most of your eyes on the strange planet and head for the small, built-in food dispenser on the bridge. What is it, AS? Why aren't we home yet? The onboard intelligence makes a few beeping and crackling noises before continuing, the AI version of clearing one's throat. I performed a slingshot maneuver near this planet to shorten our travel time. Since this celestial body has not yet been categorized, I made the usual measurements and came across something astonishing. There is an oxygen balance on the surface of this planet, signs of complex carbon reactions and unusual surface patterns. Us, get to the point. You get yourself some breakfast gruel. You're usually a bit grumpier without it. The point is, there is life on this planet. More than that, if my initial analysis is correct, it is intelligent life. You turn abruptly to face the ominous blue planet. Looks like Earth. Your breakfast gruel slides out of its cup and splatters dramatically on the floor. It's disturbing news or incredible news? It's disturbing. You realise that your body has unconsciously formed spikes, a sign of alarm and slight panic among the members of your species. Foreign, intelligent species? You contemplate the world that fills your screen, blue, the colour of blood. We need to know more. Ash, show me more. I need to know what we're dealing with. You learn a lot about a species by looking at how it treats its home. On the console next to you, a light comes on. Ash obediently lists all the data collected so far. The surface of the planet is scarred by an intricate grid of roads and transport routes. Its night side is lit up by huge, hive-like metropolises in which these creatures spend their lives. There must be millions, perhaps billions of them. Their mass is so great that they have all but exhausted the natural resources of the world, and yet their hunger seems unbridled. Their oceans and the air are saturated with the toxins from their industries. You see radioactive elements that don't occur naturally, and which are only born in the hellfire of our nuclear warheads. You see a species that has been at war with itself for thousands of years, over base things like raw materials, bits of land. and they were about to reach for the stars and spill across the galaxy. They were a danger to the interstellar equilibrium. You shiver. A few seconds later, your ship trembles. You've been hit. The impact sweeps you off your feet. Across the entire bridge there are bright sparks and whole consoles fly straight out of their sockets. A chorus of sirens comes to life and the bridge is bathed in a green light. Green alarm. The highest alert level. Something has gone terribly wrong. Ask what the Zarg is going on. The artificial intelligence interrupts the cacophony of different alarm signals for a tiny moment to answer you. An unidentified flying object has hit our starboard side. Due to the impact, there was a significant system damage. Total system collapse in approximately 600 seconds. Go team! The alarm signals are back to full volume. You rush to the control console. You frantically wipe through the various warning messages that flash at you in the aggressive turquoise. Finally, you find the central control unit. It doesn't look good. You look at the various flashing menus, unsure what to do. Let's have a look at options. What are my options? The collision destroyed the central energy core and several of the backup energy store units. Propulsion, communications and sensors will fail in mere moments, calculating proposals for further action. Let's try and calm down. Don't panic. Just don't panic. You're not alone. You have a highly developed, albeit extremely annoying, artificial intelligence at your side. You swear to yourself you'll get out of this if it's the last thing you do. Then you realise that if you don't get out of it, it will actually be the last thing you'll ever do. You're about to curse semantics and Ass starts to speak again. The ship no longer has sufficient energy reserves to escape the gravitational pull of this planet. An emergency landing is inevitable. Initiating landing maneuvers. Please change into the necessary emergency shape. The ship jolts as Ass corrects the course of your vehicle with the last available energy reserves to enable a semi-controlled landing. You stare at the main screen. The ominous blue colour of this nameless planet begins to fill the entire field of vision. You can see land masses, weather formations, mountain ranges, and lots of unyielding hard soil. You get ready for the emergency landing. The spaceship begins to shake violently around you as it enters the upper layers of the atmosphere. You try to remember lessons from your training for exactly these kind of situations. You know that your natural ability to shapeshift is the key to surviving this crash, but how? By Florg, on how many passenger flights have you stared at the safety brochures and made fun of the little pictograms? All you can remember right now is the stupid joke you made to your fellow traveller at the time. Should you form a robust armour to protect yourself from impact, or a series of gas bubbles on the surface of your skin better so you can absorb the shock of the impact, or should you spread yourself thin and wide so you don't get tossed around too much? Which one will we do? Let's do the bubbles. You decide to cover your skin with a layer of gas-filled bubbles that will absorb the shock of the impact by bursting. It occurs to you that this could be quite painful, and then the ship hits the ground. The entire bridge bursts into flames and debris flies everywhere, as if it were hit by the fist of a higher power. Screens, consoles and seats explode into a shower of tiny splinters. Machine parts and scrap metal are blasted in every direction that the three-dimensional universe allows. You yourself are thrown against the ceiling, the floor, and at least 3 walls in milliseconds before everything around you goes black. For the second time in this cycle you wake up. How could you have ever complained about cold sleep or hangover? This is 100 times worse. Every cell in your body hurts. Agent, how are you? Ass's voice is distorted but clear enough to understand. At least one speaker seems to have survived the crash. So much pain. Excellent. The best possible outcome occurred. Ass, set sarcasm level to 0. Understood. Rephrasing. The best possible outcome has occurred. You groan in agony. Looks like the ship's computer took that as a challenge. Explanation. Your ability to feel pain indicates that you have not died or sustained critical damage to your central nervous system. That was the best possible outcome under the given conditions. With some difficulty, you managed to say, turn off optimization simulation. In the event of a catastrophic system failure, all optimism values are automatically set to maximum and cannot be altered. So we're just going to get up. After a few minutes of self-pity, you get up. You're still hurting everywhere, but not lying on a pile of broken tech helps a little. You look around. You're standing ankle deep in the debris of the cockpit electronics. No screen, no control panel. Nothing is in its intended place. But the good news, at first glance, the structural integrity of the ship seems to be intact. You drag your feet to a cushion, Flork knows where it came from originally, and sit down. Save in progress. Crash site. There's a lot of reading. You take a short breather, then the crucial question, okay ass, what's next? The damage to internal systems is huge, but the good news is the assembler is still functional. Stay positive. This is good news indeed. You can construct spare parts with the help of the assembler. Given enough time and power supply, you could repair the ship or even build a completely new one. After a few buzzing and beeping sounds, As continues. All we need now is an energy source. I think we should just do where can I find? Your ass has taken you as close to an energy source as it was possible under the conditions. Here you should find sufficient power supply to allow the assembler to make all the necessary repairs. Yay! What kind of energy source is it? You're already imagining a kind of steam turbine over a kettle of boiling water or something similarly primitive. Apparently a kind of hydroelectric power station, a dam, we can do it. Oh well, could have been worse. Where have we landed? What can you tell me about the area? Your ass has taken you as close to an energy source as was possible given the conditions. The crash site is covered with dense vegetation, but between here and the energy source there is no small settlement. There is a small settlement of the indigenous civilization. Your ass has no information about the possible dangers. Be prepared for anything, Agent. Stay positive. This complicates matters. Between you and your way out of here, you now presume a horde of spear-wielding, superstitious savages. Try to use your shape-shifting powers to hide yourself as best as you can among the local population. Do we need to do that? Or can we do this? The survival equipment was destroyed in the crash. Fortunately, the assembler still has enough energy to produce a single piece of equipment. Keep your brain-containing organ high. You look at the control panel of the assembler. I think we'll do a scanner. Knowledge is power. Like the power to tell a puddle of water from a pool of sulfuric acid before sticking a tentacle in it. It is this thought above all that convinces you to get a high-quality mobile sensor made for you. Agent, I have taken the liberty of producing a portable communicator with the last bit of energy available. This allows you to stay in touch with your ass while you're away from the ship. Ass can do tactical analysis from a safe distance and with enough samples to code the language of the locals. You form a small skin pocket and slip in the communicator. You step out of the smoking wreckage of the spaceship onto the surface of this unknown planet. You can breathe in this air, but it is filled with strange smells. Local animals, temporarily silenced by your crash, begin to resume their nocturnal sounds. Not long now until this planet's bright star rises on the horizon. Your crash site appears to be in an area of dense vegetation. Columnar plants, presumably mushrooms, rise from the ground all around you, branching upwards and covered with green lobes or needles. The moon of this nameless world stands bright in the sky. We shall name the planet. You realize that no one has ever named this planet. As the first visitor to this strange world, it is your task, indeed your privilege, to name this discovery. Future generations may look at this spot in their star charts and remember you and your adventurous escape from this world, or they'll remember that the plant was found in the records of a hapless, stranded corpse. I name you... what will we call it? No mushroom. No mushroom. Yes, please make an entry in the captain's log. You mean the black box? Go team. Whatever, just make it official. You clear your throat, you continue in a solemn voice. In the name of the glorious Traxian Empire, I christen this planet No Mushroom, and claim it, all its inhabitants and its resources as the territory, subjects and property of the Traxian High Command. The inhabitants of No Mushroom are hereby declared subjects of the Traxian Empire, and are sworn to never-ending allegiance and devotion to our glorious Emperor Quarks. In return, the Traxian Empire will recognise No Mushroom as a colony, civilise its inhabitants, and make the best use of them for our glorious empire. Based on their labour and palatability, long live Traxus. You feel a bit elated. Whatever happens, your entry into the discs of history is secured. You feel a little sublime. Whatever happens, your entry into the history discs is assured. Right, your ship's battery will not recharge itself. One last time you take a long look at your crashed vehicle, then you walk resolutely out into the unknown world. You will only return when your mission has been successful. A few minutes later you return, after the last notice that you forgot the battery in the ship, but then you're on your way. The unknown flora, the dark night sky, the strange sounds of the local animals, everything is a bit eerie. You suddenly realise that you really are light years away from anything familiar or friendly, armed with nothing but your skills and the equipment you carry, alone on this blue hell planet. Your ass comes to life. Please turn right here, Agent. We should be able to get a better overview of the surroundings there. You do as you're told, and after a few steps you're standing at the gap in the vegetation that gives you a view of a slope. A valley stretches out before you in the twilight. Very good. We can plan our next course of action from here, Agent. You see the hydroelectric power plant on your left? I can calculate a route, mainly through the surrounding vegetation. We could charge the battery there, bring it back to the ship, and start the repair processes. The damage is severe, but we should be able to leave this planet's orbit. It will take a bit longer to fix the ship just by ourselves, but this route leads us around the settlement centre, and therefore reduces our chances of encountering locals. On the horizon to the right, you can see a primitive radio wave transmission tower. We can convert it into a beyond light speed transmitter in a few easy steps and send out a distress signal. This is potentially more likely to ensure a rescue, but the path to the transmitter runs right through the nesting area of the locals. Therefore, a confrontation with no mushroomlings is inevitable. Now for the bad news. We can only pursue one of the two strategies. The flight plans I have led to the conclusion that we only have about 80 Norbals before there are no more ships in the area to receive our distress call or pick us up after we leave the planet's gravity pool. And your ass unfortunately has no information as to when ships will be travelling to this quadrant again soon, if at all. So we have only this one shot at a rescue. What will we do? Do the settlement. Let's find out what happens. I'm going to the transmission tower. If we manage to send out a call for help, we will be saved faster than if we try to do the repairs ourselves. Please note that there's an increased risk of encountering locals on this route. We should avoid detection at all costs. They won't notice anything. You say more to convince yourself, then you take the path towards the settlement. As you make your way towards the settlement, you are struck once again by how strange this world is. You have to find some shape that is appropriate for this planet. A small clearing opens up in front of you. In the centre, a furry creature lies on a mushroom stump, lolling in the beams of the rising sun. The creature is small and covered with fur, but it exudes an elegance and majesty unlike anything you've ever seen. It must be a cat. It is a cat. In your language, there was a word for this perfect being: cat. This seems appropriate. This body is very small, but you could certainly use it to get into the no mushrooming settlement unnoticed. Why keep searching when you've found perfection? You decide to imitate the cat. Its fur, its powerful elegant paws, its perfectly shaped face. It is almost a religious act. As you finish your transformation, the real cat looks up for the first time since it started intensively cleaning its rear opening. It simply looks at you. Without saying a word, it gets up and leaves the clearing. You decide to follow. Save in progress. The mighty cat. Willkommen. So this is where the Bavarian part of the title comes in. You follow the cat. It's going in the direction you were aiming for anyway, so you can follow this majestic creature for a little while longer. A short time later, the forest thins out and gives way to green meadows with isolated colourful plants. Meanwhile, this world's sun has risen. The familiar starry sky is obscured by that unsettling blue you could already see from orbit. Soon you reach a road. This is fortunate because you find it a bit difficult to move around in the undergrowth in the rather small body of the cat. A small flaw in the perfect design of this creature. Finally, the roofs of no mushrooming colony rise up in front of you. What are we going to do? Let's have a look at the cat. What's this? Is that like the two options? What's this for? You look back at the wise guide. The cat. The creature tries to catch the reflections of a beam of light, slips and lands in a metal container full of clear liquid. Its fur wet, it jumps out of the container, bumps into a tree trunk and runs away. Majestic. Then you turn towards no mushrooming village stretching out before you. Finally, you get your first real impressions of no mushroom. A jumble of small box-shaped houses crisscrossed by a maze of streets, paths and alleys stretches out in front of you. You can see primitive building materials such as wood and stone, alongside cast metals and electric wires. There are seemingly wild plants in between the structures, and you can even make out whole trees standing between the buildings. There also seems to be absolutely no anti-grav traffic. Confusing. Briefly, we regret these things. These beings do not know the comfort of Quasar-Corp prefabricated houses. You wonder how the no mushroom things even get into their houses without in-house AI opening the doors for them. From your position, you have a good overview of the layout of the settlement. Can we click on these? No? As was the fastest way to get to the antenna. As analyzes the road layout and starts to calculate a route to the antenna. You could make it there pretty quickly if you stick to the main road. But is that a good idea? You don't even know if it's a good idea to keep running around this cat. What if these creatures are shot on sight because they are carriers of deadly diseases? Or lay their eggs in the brains of no mushroomlings? But your time is limited. Any detour or delay reduces your chance to send an emergency signal in time. You're just about to choose a route through the village when something catches your eye. On the edge of the village is a small residential house, somewhat isolated from the rest of the buildings. Remote enough that the no mushroomlings can't immediately sound the alarm or call for backup if something were to happen. If you want to learn more about the locals and are looking for an improved disguise, this should be a good place to start. Yeah, let's do this one. Cautiously, you begin to walk along the edge of the settlement. As you look at the houses, life around you seems to awaken. Strange sounds are coming from inside the town. You hear a rattling sound. It seems to get louder and louder. The ground itself starts to shake. You can feel it in your paws. Suddenly, a huge metal monster supported by 4 black tires appears right next to you. Its rumble is that of an ancient internal combustion engine, a vehicle. A miracle that such a strange construction can move and at such impressive speed, and it's coming right at you. Suddenly, you realise that you're in the middle of the road. will jump out the way. Without thinking, you jump to the side. Your body does the rest. Your legs stretch and extend like springs to catapult your body out of the way with maximum force. For a split second, your body looks nothing like that of a cat, but you don't care. You dive into the plants on the side of the road and curl up into a little ball. The no mushroom-ling vehicle, I wish I hadn't called it no mushroom, passes by. After a few moments, you straighten up again and look at the strange vehicle. With the dangers of the road still in mind, you finally reach the isolated building. Time to learn more about no mushroomlings. Up close, the building is no different from any other native structures. The vegetation on the side facing away from the town appear to be used as a garden or farmland. As you get closer, you hear a strange sound. It sounds like meow meow and comes from multiple sources. Is that what no mushroomlings sound like? You round the hedge and see the source of the noise, a larger group of cats. They all seem to be gathered around the back of entrance of the house. As you approach, all the cats abruptly turn their heads in the direction and fall silent. Let's just approach wordlessly. Unsure how to react, you approach the group of cats. The creatures back away from you, but maintain eye contact. There is a definite tension. Suddenly, as if at a silent signal, they all take flight. Ass, what just happened here? Apparently these beings have very fine senses and can detect rather hasty imitations of one of their own. Your ass recommends that you take more time to study your subject before the next transformation. It's worrying that your disguise didn't stand up to the very first test. You're just considering your next steps when the back door of the house opens. Okay, we're going to stop there. There's obviously going to be a lot of reading. It's quite nice. I didn't realise there was a cat in it. A black and white cat. It's very different from anything I've played. I like the art style, and I like the humour and the text. It's very good. Can I just go back? Oh no, I'll lose my progress in the chapter. Okay, never mind. So, let's have a look in here. What's in here? Okay, we've got trophies. Crash site, city limits. Okay, so we can travel to different areas. We've got some settings. Okay. Right, so come out of there. That's Plan B from Outer Space, a Bavarian Odyssey, developed by Robot Pumpkin Games and published by Assemble Entertainment. So thank you again to them for the game key, much appreciated. As usual, it doesn't reflect what my thoughts on the game, but I did like that, and I will finish that. I won't stream the rest because it's a lot of reading, a lot of me reading verbatim what's on the screen. But it's a fun game, obviously, and I like the story so far. And I like the humour in it. And it has a cat, of course. Oh, there's the trophies, look. So, as I say, that's full release. There's a demo, which you can download. So, I shall stop there for today because I need to get ready for work. I shall be back tomorrow morning with a full stream, 5 hours probably, back with Operencia that we started, and we were getting on a bit better last week. So if you have enjoyed what you've seen, a follow would be greatly appreciated. If you're watching this on YouTube later on, a like and subscribe would help as well. So until next time, you all take care, be safe, and I shall say bye for now.